Hey people, in this video I want to show you a simple method how you can improve how your fill-ins on the drums sound and feel as a beginner or as an intermediate player as well. And all we need in order to do that is a quick mindset shift and a simple way to practice. So let's start right away. You probably know this. You have learned a cool new fill-in and now you want to play it in context. You want to play it alternatingly with a groove. So you start playing the groove, but then you need to make a change. You need to switch to the fill-in, and there is a gap between the groove and the fill-in, and it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't flow really, because at the end of the fill-in you need to stop and come back into the groove. So what to do here? The first thing we have to do is to change our view on fill-ins itself, because many people get this wrong. Fill-ins are not these building blocks, these mini solos we place somewhere in the music, but they are an extension of the groove. They are an embellishment, maybe even a marker of change. But usually they are used to connect two different energy levels or even two different song parts. And in this function, they are actually part of the musical accompaniment. So it is actually part of the groove when we see groove as the musical accompaniment. So we don't change from the groove to the fill-in and back, but all together it is playing and supporting the music. So there's actually not a real change between groove, fill-in and back to groove, or rather there shouldn't be. But how can we make this happen? How can we let it actually sound like that? Well, just keep on playing the groove in your head. So while you are playing the fill-in, you should be hearing the groove in the back of your mind. This is simple, but I know it's not easy. It takes some time, but this is kind of your test. Can you still play the fill-in with the groove in the back of your head? If not, you're not ready yet. You need to practice more. You need to practice until you are at this stage. But it is worth it. Why? Because it keeps up the groove. Now I mean the groove as the function, just the swing, the feeling, the musicality. Also, it helps you to stay in time, because the groove is just keeping time for the most part. And if you in the back of your head are keeping time for yourself, your fill-in will stay in time and you will be back on track when you continue your groove on kick, snare and hi-hat, and it will fit perfectly. So you will stay in time and you will keep on grooving. You will keep up the feeling, the energy, because your fill-in gets some of this groove and will sound even better. There is a specific way to practice this. Of course, just put on a metronome. But as slowly as you can, play the groove, play the fill-in and the groove again, without any problems, without any hearable changes in the tempo and in the feeling. There should be a fluent change between groove and fill-in, so that in the end there is no change at all, you just keep on playing. And at the same time you should be hearing the groove in the back of your head all the time. This means that you probably should set the metronome very low, so if you have a fill-in with 16th notes in them, maybe 40, maybe even 35 beats per minute. If so, you should put on the 8th notes or just double the tempo, so maybe 70 or 80 beats per minute. Because everything lower than 40 on the quarter notes is very hard to hear and just makes it so much harder. And then you just alternate between groove and fill-in, and you increase the tempo only when you can actually feel the groove playing through in the back of your head or wherever you feel it or hear it all the time. And this is also kind of the litmus test. You only want to be playing fill-ins with which you can still hear the groove in the back of your head. And this may lead to something that is very common when you improvise. You will probably play more fill-ins that are not too far off from the groove. Or if you go over the toms, you still have a backbeat in them. And that's very common, and that's also very musical because you support the groove while you are playing the fill-in. So in this case, the fill-in is really just an extension of the groove. And those are the best when you keep the energy high, you keep the swing, you keep the flow, and still play a great fill-in. So that is the idea. You should see fill-ins not as a mini solo, but as an extension of your groove. You should practice them very slowly, alternating between a groove and a fill-in, and you should be playing them so slow that you don't hear any changes in your feeling between the two, but just a natural flow. And at the same time, you should always hear the groove as if you were keeping on playing it, even though you're actually playing a fill-in. I wish you the best of luck with this method. Please let me know in the comments how it worked for you. If you like this and you want to see more videos on drums, and also generally how you can develop as a person, as a human, through learning an instrument, then please subscribe, because that's what this channel is all about. There are new videos every Thursday. Hope to see you on the next one. Until then, take care and bye-bye.